It is a bad night to be a fox when Roy Lupton is around. We're trying out an unusual shooting sport with shotguns at Bisley.
Welcome to Fieldsports Britain. Coming up...
Well, I don't know what happened there. This is my show. Welcome to Fieldsports Britain. With some precious grey partridge about to run the gauntlet in the big wide world, Roy has been asked by a local gamekeeper to have a go at his foxes. It's an area of marshland, so it is helpful that Roy has an elevated position on the back of a pickup to be able to shoot down onto any incomers.
Well, we are out on an absolutely beautiful night. It's almost like an African night tonight. It's warm and balmy. It's just absolutely lovely. Got a really nice view out across some of the marshes here. And we've come here tonight because there's going to be a lot of game birds going out here very soon, within the next couple of weeks. And some of the fields have just recently been cut and baled, so we're going to get out here now and hopefully clear up the majority of cubs. Well, that's what we're hoping to do tonight. Luckily, it's overcast because we're actually in almost a full moon tonight, but with the cloud cover we've got, we decided to try and get out quickly because obviously we need to try and make hay once the sun shines, so to speak, because we desperately need to get these foxes off before the game birds come in, because otherwise they will cause huge problems. So just going to test the rifle. I knocked the rifle as we got out of the truck, so I didn't want to take any shots on our way out here, so I'm just going to have a quick double check on it. Hopefully it's held zero, and then we'll get on with some foxing.
Roy finds a target and puts some rounds down his 22-250 to ensure the drone 15 is where he wants it.
Okay, so we are looking on that. We are slightly low and slightly left. So I'm just going to move across.
With Roy happy, we start working through the fields.
There's one there as well.
Roy's first call gets the attention of two cubs. Roy shoots one, then repositions for the next.
Turn around, there's one coming from behind.
Roy also suggests to the keeper in the cab that it wasn't as successful as he'd hoped.
I missed both of them.
You what?
I missed both of them. They got a bit fast and furious for a moment. Excellent. Well, that's two down, hopefully. A few more to follow.
Fox 3, however, does not go to plan. Roy struggles to get it out of the undergrowth on the far bank. It's a much further shot than the previous two, and when a shot presents itself, he misses.
Bollocks.
He confesses to a silly mistake when zeroing the drone.
No, so unfortunately, I've just educated a fox there. Well, semi-educated. It's not too bad because it was with the night vision, and we didn't make too much of a kerfuffle beforehand, so we should be able to hopefully catch up with that one another night. I absolutely hate missing, but we all do it, unfortunately. Now, what I did there was not take into account when I reset the zero on the Drone Pro 15. We just did it quickly, and I didn't bring a rangefinder tonight, so I think what we did is we actually set the range, or we zeroed slightly too close, and because you've got a big objective lens on the Drone Pro 15, it's a lot higher above the barrel than some other optics, and so if you zero at just on 100, because of the angle that you're having to set the scope at to accommodate the travel of the bullet to come through it at 100, the trajectory of the round is actually still rising out till about 200. So what I did by speedily zeroing it and not thinking about it was set it to slightly too low, and actually just whistled over the top of its head, because all I had was a headshot, because it was laying down looking at us. Which, I mean, it is very, very silly, because obviously we've been shooting foxes at much greater ranges than that without any issue. But again, it's because we just set it up and I wasn't concentrating on where we were.
After a couple of shots to reset his zero, Roy is back on it again. This time we spot a fox, and when we crawl closer, it's taken the high ground on top of a bale. Roy decides not to shoot it. There's nothing behind it. We leave it for another time. With time marching on, Roy squeezes in one more Charlie. This is another long shot, so it's a good job he resets his zero. This time there's no mistake.
I think we're going to call it quits. David's just started moaning. He wants to go home. He's had a very long week in Africa. He looks like he's got the pox, so it's about time we took him back. So we're going to, hopefully, we've taken a few out, so it'll make it a bit better for the partridges that are going out here. So they're trying to get a good population of English partridges back out here, and obviously without fox control and without predator control it is almost impossible, because they are incredibly susceptible to predation by foxes. So fingers crossed it's helped, but I'm going to have to come back and account for the one that I messed up on.
It's been a balmy night on the marsh, with the frog chorus in the background and plenty of insect life. Let's hope the grey partridge flourish in their new home with a few less sharp-teethed surprises. Thank you, Roy. Now, this week's episode is in memory of a lad from Newton Rigg College, Jay McDonnell, who died last week. His friends got in touch with us and asked us to mention him. This was one of his favourite TV shows. So, here's to you, Jay. Other notices. At the game fair last week, I met Adam Henson, who sportingly agreed to introduce Fieldsports Britain this week. Thank you, Adam, for that. He has his own event this weekend, coming Countryfile Live at Blenheim Palace in Oxfordshire, which will include falconry and fishing, but will not include shooting, and we don't know yet about foxhounds. So go along, interesting to see what it will be like. We remain here at Fieldsports Channel, resolutely the antidote to BBC Countryfile. Now, someone so near to Adam in so many ways, yet so far. It's David on the Fieldsports Channel News Stump.
This is Fieldsports Channel News. It looks like there'll be a good grouse season this year. Moorland estates across Scotland have carried out their counts. A long winter and wet summer months mean the breeding conditions were bad on many estates, but improved management means brood numbers are good. This video is by the Gift of Grouse and shows keepers on an estate near Loch Ness. The game fair is back and is in better shape than when the CLA ran it. The Country Landowners Association's decisions to close the game fair last year after 57 years led to a scramble to produce a successor. The clear winner is the Game Fair, held this year at Ragley Hall, with more than 100,000 visitors and with the backing of NFU Mutual. Stands were busy and the shooting line was popular, with Fieldsports Channel viewer Cameron Thornton winning the 50 bird sporting competition in the junior category. With the company behind the main competitor, the UK Game Fair, going into liquidation just weeks earlier, the organisers of the Game Fair are delighted, relieved and exhausted.
Well, we wanted to sort of add personality to this event, modernise the event, and we didn't want it to look like a wedding. And I think there'd been quite a lot of feedback in the past that you know, there were elements that were a bit perhaps tired and a bit old-fashioned. So we've been sort of really keen to put our mark on it, bring personality to it, and bring surprises to it too. And again, the feedback has been incredible. Some lady came up to me and gave me £10 as a little tip, which I've given to our charity this year.
Just because she was so happy.
Just so happy. She thanked me and just said, "This is absolutely tremendous." And honestly, all day I've had those comments. So really, really thrilled with it.
Next year's game fair is on the last weekend in July at Hatfield House. A Viscountess has said she would like a machine gun to kill badgers after 200 lambs were killed on her estate. Helene, Lady Scarsdale, says the lambs were killed over 3 years. She blames the National Trust, which owns her family's seat, Kedleston Hall in Derbyshire, because they're allowing the badgers to breed uncontrolled. Natural England has finally cracked under the pressure to control buzzard numbers. It's issued a licence to control up to 10 buzzards in order to prevent damage to young pheasants. It follows 5 years of trying other methods and the threat of a court case from the National Gamekeepers Organisation, which welcomes the move. A well-known carriage driver has killed himself after the RSPCA took him to court over cruelty allegations. As part of its campaign against animal ownership, it brought 13 charges of cruelty to horses against Stephen Parkin from Hertfordshire, who is the third generation of his family to enjoy carriage driving. A week into his trial, he hanged himself in a barn, leaving a note blaming the pressure of the RSPCA case. The RSPCA is continuing its case against 4 other people. And finally, Chris Packham says we should put wildlife before humans instead of chasing the cure for cancer. The anti-hunting wildlife presenter faces renewed calls for the BBC to sack him after he made the call in a magazine. He made the case for saving wildlife and pointed out that there are too many human beings. You are now up to date with Fieldsports Channel News, stalking the stories, fishing for facts.
Thank you, David. Next up, getting a lot of bangs for their buck is the NRA Shotgun League at Bisley. Not something you will see at your average playground. It is the fast-paced, racing, pulse-inducing NRA Shotgun League at Bisley. Loud and action-packed, it's a sport that keeps shooters on their toes.
Target shotgun is what the NRA refers to any form of target shooting with a shotgun other than clay pigeon shooting. Target shotgun itself is various sub-disciplines within it. We have things like GR&P slug, and then we have the action stroke dynamic sports, the falling plates, the shotgun league matches and man-v-man competitions, which involve movement as well as shooting and assuming different firing positions. The targets vary from metal plates to paper targets. We use solid slug on the paper targets for scoring, and the metal plates just have to fall to score with either buckshot or birdshot. Very simply put, the person who shoots all the targets down fastest wins the competition.
The NRA Shotgun League tests a shooter's speed and accuracy at the same time, and this appeals to the shooters taking part.
Compared to other types of shooting where basically you're lying down on your own, you're trying to slow your heart rate down and you're trying to get a really accurate shot, it isn't like that. The excitement value is fantastic. You enter a stage, your heart starts racing, and when you finish the stage, your heart's racing even more. Very exciting.
It's testing my skills against the course designer and then comparing my results against the guys that I shoot with, my friends, colleagues, and so this gets the adrenaline going and it's all good for a laugh.
I've been involved with practical shotgun for a number of years through various different groups that have been shooting, shot internationally, and this is really good.
With 130 shooters in the stages over the 2 days, there is action at every turn, and with each stage providing a different challenge, it's a tough test for the competitors. The shooters are not the only ones who have to concentrate. The range officers have to stay on top of a variety of possible slips and misdemeanours.
In each stage we'll have a range officer that not only controls the shoot and how the scoring is done, but also to ensure that it's run safely. It's a much more dynamic because you're not just shooting from a static position. So safety is very important. So as we go through, we verify that you comply with all the rules, safety angles that we explain to them. When there's any movement, that the fingers are out of the triggers, the guns remain in a safe angle at all times. you have to ensure that they comply with not taking a shot at a steel target closer than 5 meters, for instance. Here, every time you get to a new stage, it's a brand new layout. You get the brief given to you at that time, and then you have to work out what's going to be for you the best way of shooting it. So it doesn't get stale.
Here is what the shooters see when they start the stages. As you can see, each shooter starts with one hand on the gun before loading as fast as they can and tackling the array of targets. It is no surprise that these events are attracting new faces to the sport.
The number of cartridges I've dropped is almost as many as I've fired. I've got sore thumbs, I've burned myself, and I don't care, I'm enjoying myself, it's good fun. You try and stop me.
I only started about a year and a half ago. I sort of worked my way up in standard division, now sort of coming top 10.
At the end of what has been a successful event, it's time for the winners to be announced. With so many classifications and shooters taking part, not everyone is here to claim their prize.
It's been a very good weekend. We've had a fantastic competition. Everyone's gone home happy. Congratulations go to the winners.
For more information on the NRA Shotgun League, contact Target Shotgun at nra.org.uk. From Bisley to the wider world of hunting and shooting on YouTube, it is Hunting YouTube. This is Hunting YouTube, which aims to show the best hunting and shooting videos that YouTube has to offer. Plenty of hog, pig and boar shooting in this week's crop of videos on YouTube. Full Boar Outdoors NZ is on a 2-day 4-pig trip in New Zealand to sort out a farmland damage problem. From last season's Fieldsports is after driven wild boar with dogs. This is part 1 and shows plenty of driven action. Here is how to use 2 GoPro cameras to produce a compelling hunting film even for people who don't speak Russian. Hunter World produces this film entertainingly titled Stabbed the Pig, which shows a man and a dog's eye view of a boar hunt. Lots of good photography by the German Jäger magazine, which is hunting wild boar in wheat fields. This is what Germans do in the summer while we British wait out for pigeons. Staying in Germany and the roe rut is underway. Here is Hunting Room's first buck of the season. The Pace brothers are back with episode 4 of their dreamily shot Into the Wilderness series, this time after a roe buck in Scotland's Angus Glens. Never knowingly undersold, they call this one the Water of Life, and it is already nicknamed by cool friends at Fieldsports Channel the Fountain of Youth. The North American version of the Pace brothers is Switchback Outdoors TV. Guides Austin Atkinson and Tyler Mahoney are out to shoot beautiful 37.5-inch Dahl sheep in Alaska. And finally, it's a father-son hunting trip for celebrity chef Gordon Ramsay, whose hunting films on YouTube are a soaraway success. Gordon and Jack are out after rooks, and then, being chefs, they make a rook salad. That's it for this week. If you have a YouTube film you would like us to pop into the weekly top 8, send it in via YouTube or email me the link, charlie@fieldsportschannel.tv. If you don't like that, how about this? We are at the glorious Queen's Prize at Bisley in Surrey, where the last 100 rifle shooters gather to find out who is the best shot in Britain. Like Wimbledon, Ascot and the Henley Royal Regatta, but with guns. Enjoy a baking July summer season day with NRA TV. More from Bisley there, I commend that to you, and I commend this, it's Club Digweed. In this month's Club Digweed, George is at E.J. Churchill's with one of the newest members of the England shooting team, Emily Hibbs. George doesn't want to change her technique, but Emily is happy for George to offer some advice to help find that all-important consistency.
No, so this is going to be your line. So that is your line completely. Rather than your weight, so my line is here.
George also does a full skeet round with the shot cam with some really impressive results. It's all in this month's Club Digweed. To subscribe or download the latest show, go to georgedigweed.com. Well, we are back next week. If you haven't done so already, please go to our website, fieldsportschannel.tv. Click to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to us on YouTube, or pop your email address into our constant contact box on our register page, and we'll constantly contact you about this show, Fieldsports Britain. It's at 7 PM UK time every Wednesday, and this has been Fieldsports Britain. Good hunting good shooting, good fishing, and goodbye.